you've got a massive amount of data. It, in a way, reminds me of the Nixon tapes. Thousands of hours of secretly recorded conversations that Nixon thought were exclusively his, that he was not going to get them. Hillary Clinton initially took that position.
Politically speaking, in the current generational sense, the scandal surrounding Richard Nixon and his predilection for taping everything said in the White House remains the #1 example of how politicians abuse power, and especially how in many cases absolute power corrupts absolutely. Therefore, to use that as a comparison to a current issue is damning indeed in the scope of what it could mean to America and the presidential race. Care to consider the current Hillary Clinton email issue as just as bad, if not worse, than the Nixon tapes? Let's begin there. Loose the political animal for this day. She is the veteran and widely read conservative columnist for the Fiscal Times, Liz Peek. He's the former lead counsel for the Democratic Party of Virginia, respected member of the legal profession, Stephen Cobb. I want to thank you both for being with us. And Liz, I'm going to start with you right off the bat. Bob Woodward took Clinton emails and the Nixon tapes and put them in the same sentence. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a reasonable comparison because, after all, what happened to the Nixon White House was that a sort of small misdeed became a major scandal, obviously leading to his resignation because of the cover-up involved. And I think in the case of Hillary Clinton, from the beginning of her, when it first surfaced that her emails existed on a private server, we've heard nothing but lies about what was on it, why she used it in the first place, what she deleted, etc. Daily. In fact, today, again, there are more revelations coming out about hundreds of emails that contain classified information, more aides that use the server, etc. I mean, the problem for Hillary is, just like Nixon, that you're just digging yourself deeper and deeper with every lie that is told. And in both cases, it really stemmed initially from a desire to kind of hide what was happening in the White House, information that probably should have been made public. So I think it's a reasonable comparison.
Stephen, even though you speak for the liberal side, I have to tell you, come on, we have to be honest here. Even you've got to be very, not just concerned about this, but angry about it, because Liz hits it on the head. Mrs. Clinton has lied. Let's just use the real simple language here, and she's getting caught in it. You have to agree with that, yes?
No, but I think one of the problems here is that we're getting information in kind of dribs and drabs, which leads folks on television and in print and elsewhere to jump to conclusions and wild speculations as to what's in the emails, did it comport with policy and law, and rather than wait for facts and determinations by those who know best, such as the Inspector General's office or the Department of Justice, what we have, again, is more wild speculation.
Yeah, but is it really wild speculation, though, Stephen, if indeed we're hearing from the right people that these were confidential emails? There was classified information there, and there were other emails that are showing up here that we were told did not exist. Come on, Stephen, we're going to pull you into common sense, Stephen.
Whether or not this information was confidential at the time that it was sent, what the nature of it was, how does the Inspector Generals and the intelligence community or the State Department or the Justice Department, how do they qualify these emails? When we start looking at this again in little dribs and drabs, it allows people to put their own spin on it and jump to those conclusions. And so that just doesn't lead to a constructive conversation.
All right, Liz, go ahead. I heard you getting ready.
Number one, it's not spin. When someone's looking at photographs of satellite surveillance of drone attacks, I think most people would recognize that that's probably high-level security information, and that was basically one of the emails that was found on her server. But let's go back to the statement she made about how all the things she deleted were personal, about her yoga classes and her daughter's wedding. We have proof that that was simply a lie, because Sidney Blumenthal turned over emails that was exchanged with Hillary Clinton that basically had to do with Libya and other foreign affairs, which had nothing to do with her personal life. So, with all due respect, honestly, I think there's no question she's lied repeatedly about this. Forget whether or not there was national security issues breached. It goes to the trustworthiness and common sense of Hillary Clinton and judgment. This is someone who wants to be our president. I mean, okay. Honestly, I think there are a lot of good things about Hillary Clinton, but I cannot imagine standing up for her on this issue and thinking that she is a good candidate to be president of the United States.
I got about 90 seconds left, and Stephen, I'm going to let you go first on this one. Donald Trump calling for the border wall. It could cost over $100 billion, plus also going after birthright citizenship. I got to tell you, it may be wild to build a wall, but this is what the American people, a good part of them, have been screaming for some time.
I'm going to disagree with you. I saw a recent poll that said 65% of the American public think there should be a pathway to legalization. So I think Donald Trump is out of step with the mainstream Americans on this important issue, and it would likely be a wedge for him in any general election.
All right, now, you mentioned, of course, the fact that we need that path to citizenship, which is something that we've been falling back on here for such a long time and hasn't been done. Liz, 30 seconds to you. I think Mr. Trump has got to talk about who's going to pay for this, first of all, more than anything else, because I don't see this getting done.
Well, I don't think two things are going to get done. I don't think we're going to build a wall and charge Mexico for it, or impose the kinds of fees and tariffs he's talking about. That would really hurt a lot of our manufacturers who rely on sourcing from Mexico. And secondly, I don't think we're going to deport 11 million people and their families. So, I think these are unrealistic propositions. The polling is all over the place. People do want a path to citizenship, but they also want secure borders. And I think whoever becomes president is going to have to guarantee that, or at least move more radically in that direction.
And let's be fair, it's a time of year and the time in the whole political process when unrealism actually becomes part of what we discuss every single day on both sides. Stephen Cobb and Liz Peek, always a pleasure to have you both on the show. Thanks so much. We'll do it again real soon. Coming up next, Donald Trump's biggest fans under the social media gun for their outspoken stand. Next on The Hard Line.